Excited clap of the hands. Survivor Relations Coordinator for Made for Them and survivor herself, Jamelia Hines.
I came into Made for Them as a survivor, 1 year in being rescued, and I got turned into a recruiter with other ladies because we didn't have enough survivors. So in order for us to get more donors and to get more funding, I needed to start finding more survivors so we could have a substantial amount of survivors to better placate and show off.
You know how trafficking situations are called the life? Do we know why it's called the life? Because we are living in a lie that has been presented to us. And this is exactly why Made for Them and how Andrea is operating is equivalent to how a trafficker is acting. That lie, the selling of dreams, the promises. If you break down old school, old-fashioned, how we talked about and addressed at CSEC before we had all these fancy terminologies, we had been sold a dream. And that dream has been sold and sold over and over again in order to gain profit for an organization that has no other interest other than lining their own pockets.
Rain, snow, sleet, they were in there making soaps, making jewelries, making plans. It was a whole thing. So I started to ask them, okay, I need to see your pay stubs because I'm your case manager and I need to be able to put this in your file that you are a part of the work program. We don't have any pay stubs. Why don't you have any pay stubs? Because we haven't been paid. So I go to Andrea and I tell her, you know, they're saying that they haven't been paid for any of these hours. I brought out the book of more falsified hours. The booklet, the women are only allowed to sign their names to 4 hours of work, regardless of how long they worked. So they were only going to be eligible for those 4 hours of pay, even though they worked 6 to 7 hours. That was already a problem. But the bare minimum, give them the 4 hours that you were contracted to give them. Nobody received paychecks. From 2017 to 2018 when I was working there, I can confidently say not one survivor received an actual paycheck for the actual hours listed that they worked. And it was a problem. They stopped coming, but yet they're still going to your events. You're still riding on their curtails. They're still cleaning up shop after these fantastic, wonderful events, where you're selling the things that they made with their bare hands for hours, and they're not being compensated. It goes far beyond how you choose to share our stories. This is now labor trafficking. These survivors have worked for Andrea's personal business, Events Divine. And I mean, if anybody knows events, you're setting up, you're taking down, you're there till sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You're leaving your families and they're never paid. There's no way to quantify those hours. There's no record of them working or putting in those hours, but they were and they just weren't compensated. If you did not know, that is labor trafficking. Allowing an individual to do work with a promised monetary gain without fulfilling on that is labor trafficking.